Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with March's Mixed Media Mayhem. And today's layout that we are scrap lifting is this gorgeous layout for Hey Little Magpie, and it was done by Sheena Rowlands. And I saw this before they posted it as our what we're going to use for our Mixed Media Mayhem, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. So I was super excited when they put that out there. So I have a solid white cardstock and then this 6x6 paper pad by Jen Hadfield, Simple Life, and it has some colors that I wanted to work with based on my pictures of my son learning to ride his bike, sort of. And then I have this Round Trip by Maggie Holmes stamp set that I thought I'd use some things off of here. I do end up bringing in 2 more stamp sets. I went a little crazy and added my own little thing, and it's fine. And then I have this thicker set called Explorer, and I do definitely pull in some things from here. And then I have these stickers that I've had for like, I don't know, 14 years, probably since my son was born, and they're by Reminisce, and so I am going to use those. And then this is one of the, I think it's Vicky Booten, but it's one of the American Craft stencils that come, and then I have some Distress Oxide sprays in Black Soot and Blueprint Sketch, and then I have Black Soot and an ink pad, Salty Ocean, Candied Apple, and Fossilized Amber. All 4 of those are Distress Oxides by Tim Holtz. And so I'm going to use all of that through my stencil on my paper where I've already made a mess. Is that crazy? I haven't even started the dang layout and I already have a blue smear on my paper. So I have all of these lovelies, my papers, my embellishments, my mixed media. I've got 4 pictures and this awesome layout to go by. So let's see how this goes. So the first things first, I'm going to say I have made about 27 errors, which ended up turning into fabulousness. So first of all, I completely fill in this stencil, not what I wanted to do. So I'm trying to fill it in with different colors, and because I was doing it the way I was, I end up filling in from corner to corner, which gives you a blocky look when you pull the stencil off. I don't like that. I mean, I'm sure I would love it. Here it is. I mean, it's gorgeous. I think it's awesome looking. And I will use this paper and either cut that out and use it as a mat or cover the whole page or do something. But the concept of this layout that I love so much, other than the fact that it's just gorgeous, is that it's not like a straight line across. It's kind of, a little here and there. So keeping that in mind, also using my big blending brushes was not a smart move. So getting these little finger brushes was perfect. These came from Amazon. And so I'm just going to start and do strips down and start and stop them in different places from color to color. And so I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole thing. I'm going to start with this one and show you how I move it over. But here is the first little bit. That is what I'm looking for. I don't want it to have a straight line across, which is exactly what I was going to get. So I make sure to overlay the edge of the stencil with where the blue ink stops, so that when I start with the yellow, it's going to blend a little bit with that blue, which is fine, and then go from there. And I'm just filling in the spots that are yellow now, so it almost looks like it is exactly like the other set. So here it is, and I'm thrilled. Now, that last blue strip towards the left is a little squared off. I went a little too high up. I'm going to take care of that. And so then this is not on this layout, but I really was wanting a little bit of something. So I got the Black Soot in the spray and tapped it in a diagonal from top left to bottom right. I guess I'm in a diagonal phase because I just did this yesterday for something. I think it's day 31. Spoiler alert for the end of the month. Oh, I think today when this goes live, it'll be day 31 too. So hey, no big spoiler. You'll probably have already seen day 31. So now I have 4 papers from this Jen Hadfield paper pad, and I'm going with yellow, blue, black, and of course red, but I didn't want to bring a lot of red in. Just the pops of the red that are going to be in the mixed media and a few other little embellishments. So I have this one little 2-inch strip of bicycle paper, which is why I picked this collection. I thought I had a whole paper, like a whole 6x6. I didn't. But I have this strip, but I decided I wanted 2 tags, so I used my Dress My Craft and made a tag out of both sides, and I just cut them in half, and I'm going to tuck those. One of those is going to be my fix for that straight corner up in the top of that blue. And it's not terribly like blatant. But to me, it was like, shoot, I went all the way down and all the way up. And so I'm going to fix that so it'll be fine. So I am going to put all these pictures here now in her sketch. She's got what looks like one picture and then a cluster of embellishments, journaling, and things across the way. And I think that's really cool, and I love that. But when I went into 2016, which is the year that I am currently working on, although I've printed pictures all the way back to 2009, because I'm crazy. So I'm not crazy. I'll explain in a minute. So when I found these, they were all small. I'd already printed them small and knew that they'd be perfect, and I could trim them out a little bit to where they're not a full 3x4, so they wouldn't go from, one side to the other, but would take up that same kind of space that she is with her embellishments and everything. And I am going to add embellishments, but not big and bulky ones, bigger ones like she has, which, like I said, totally love her layout. So I am going to use these. These are all about like choo-choo trains, but I'm just going to tuck this one. It says making tracks. And I just tuck it into where the railroad tracks aren't showing. It doesn't matter, no, because I'm going to have another little thing that I put down here in just a second that has the railroad crossing sign. But I'm okay with that. I mean, it's one of those ones you fold over the little tags, and I could have left it up higher, but I decided that I'd put it all the way down. I made sure not to cover my daughter, who was standing back in the background watching her brother ride his bike. So the first picture is just him proud as a peacock on his bike. The second one is him on his bike, but you can see the training wheels are still on. Well, I don't know if you can see it in these little pictures. And then the next two are after his dad has taken the wheels off and he's trying to help him learn to ride his bike. Now, my child has ADHD, and not learning quickly and being able to get something practically instantaneously is very frustrating for him. At this time, he was 5. He was 6. And so he did not want to continue to try after, like, he fell a couple of times, and he didn't really fall hard. So it's not like, he had PTSD from falling and didn't want to get on his bike. It was just, he wasn't getting it, and he didn't like that. He wanted to be able to pick it up instantly. So, I don't know if he ever went back to trying to ride his bike, bless his heart. But his sister was 16 when she learned to ride a bike by herself. She just took off on a bike one day. So I still have hope for him. He's 14 as of yesterday. When I'm recording this, it's the 18th. And so maybe one day. But anyway, point is, so that is what this is. And I've already done a layout that I don't believe has been shared yet as of me recording, but when you're seeing this, I will have already completed it. And it was the layout that will go across from this, and it's him and his dad having a serious, lovely conversation about, it's okay if you don't get things right away, and, that kind of thing. But anyway, and I love that layout. It's one of the 30 Days of Sketches, and so hopefully you'll go check that out. So, right now I am working on the title, and I want to use this Have Courage, and instead of where hers is at the top up there, I'm going to put mine down here on the bottom because there's just this, the road and stuff. But I wasn't sure how it was going to look, so I wanted to put it on this acetate so I could lay it out and look at it and see if I could fit, like, I was originally going to put Have on one picture and Courage on the other, but Courage was a little too big, and I really didn't want them, like, right on top of each other. Or, like right against each other, and they still weren't fitting perfectly. So I just went ahead and spread them out just a little and have it kind of go across the 3 pictures. And so I mostly wanted them on those back, the last 2, because those are where he has no training wheels on. So I got those on there. I'm happy with the way they are. I put them on there wonky on purpose, and I do that because I am not really good about putting things on. So if I do it on purpose, then it's the way I want it to be. So I decided I needed a little something else on here. So I pull out my the Maggie Home stamps, and I use the Let's Go, and I just put that in like 3 places on that diagonal where I've done the splattering. And then I also use 2 stars from the Explorer sticker set that have like that shiny red that's in the title. And so I decided I'd bring a little star stamp in from that collection as well. And I just stamped that with all 3 of the colors. No, I didn't use black soot for that because I did the Let's Go. But then I have this little boo-boo down here on the bottom, about 3 or 4 inches over, and I was like, I want to try and cover that. And I have this cute little embellishment that says nice, but if I put it all the way over there, it's going to look weird. So I get these little tire track things, and they are from a Good Old Days stamp set by Yvonne Creations, and it looks like a bicycle tire to me, and I thought that would be perfect. It's really more like a gear, but I thought it would be cool, so I just stamped that out in the bottom and bring it over a little so that when I put that nice, it's not going to look like it's hanging out into Neverland. And I just take that all the way up, and I love how this turned out. I was a little tentative. I have a couple of them come off the page. I take them up to the top corner and over a little as well. And I am thrilled with how that looks. See, there's that little nice. And so, like I said, if I had put it over there with none of those tires, I think it would have looked weird. And, I mean, I don't care if there's a little smudge. And I didn't care if splatters were down there. But it was like a smear. And so I wanted to try and get that covered. So the next thing I decided was I wanted something to kind of go over a little up on the top. So I thought I'd put a label up there so I could put the date on it. So I stamp it out with the Salty Ocean on a scrap paper of white. And that way I can not have to worry about, after this beautiful layout is done, screwing it up. Do I still screw things up? A little bit. So I stamped it out and cut and then fussy cut it and then put it up there, and then remembered, oh, I should have put the date on it before I did that. So of course, when I put the date on it, it's crooked. It's up at the top a little too high, and you can kind of see it, but it's not great. So I go back and I cut one of the other ones that I had stamped out on that paper, date it before I cut it out, and then I just put it right on top of the other one. So it is not, you can't tell that there is another layer there. So, but I am so thrilled with how it looks. I did add a bunch of enamel dots. I believe almost all of them were from Paper Studio, but some of them also came from Brooke Vaughn or Kaiser Crafts or something like that. Fancy Pants. Just because they had the yellow color that I wanted. And I just put those in that same diagonal pattern, and I'm really thrilled with that. The other thing I didn't mention was those 2 tags I put down. I did ink around them so that they would be a little bit more defined against the white part of the paper. So here it is. You all, I really do love how this turned out. I pulled from 3 or 4 different sticker sheets or embellishment sheets. I pulled from 3 different stamp sets. I used 5 different ink tones or colors, and I am thrilled. I even pulled papers from a 6x6 paper pad, and that just makes me happy, and I love the layout. And now I have another piece of paper to work with in the future. So I hope you'll go and check out Sheena and the Hey Little Magpie, as well as I would love for you all to check out all the other amazing creatives who are hopping along with Mixed Media Mayhem. Have a great day and happy scrapping.